Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. If this is your first time here, my name is Ben. I'm an online reseller, and here on my YouTube channel, I show you guys all about my online business in hopes that it'll help you out in yours and maybe inspire some of you guys to start selling online and getting a little extra income on the side as a little side hustle. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing with you guys apps to have on your cell phone. Now, in my last thrifting video, I noticed a lot of you guys were asking about what app I was using to scan the barcodes while I was in the thrift store. This got me thinking. I've never seen anyone go over the specific apps they use on their phones. So today, I decided to take you through and show you all the basic apps that I have on my phone to help me run my reselling business. Now, these apps are going to range everything from the different platforms I use to buy and sell on, to the different financial tools that I use, apps that are helpful for you getting information on where to source at, and apps that are just going to help you overall when dealing with your reselling business, ones that will help track your miles, log your receipts, that kind of stuff. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. The first set of apps I'm going to go over here are the different platforms that I sell on. Now, there are a ton of different platforms out there for resellers to sell on. However, these are the ones that I personally use and the ones that I think are most common for the majority of resellers. Starting out, no surprise, my first app is going to be eBay. eBay is a huge marketplace. It's the second biggest next to Amazon in the online reselling industry, and I believe it's number one for the used goods section. Now, eBay's app is really intuitive and really easy. You can do all kinds of things on it and basically run your entire eBay business from the app. I run a lot of my business straight from the app itself just because it's always on me and I don't have to have a desktop nearby. Now, there are a few things that I do straight from the desktop, like dealing with returns or listing my items. However, everything else I pretty much do from the phone app, but you can handle those things on your phone as well. You're able to receive your offers, you're able to negotiate with buyers, you're able to receive your messages and stuff all straight from the app. But perhaps the most important reason that I use the eBay app so frequently is to look up sold comps. So when I'm at the thrift store, I like to have my phone out, and if I come across a brand or a style or something in general that I don't know off the top of my head, I get on my eBay app, I type in what I'm looking for, go over to the filters, and go down and check solds. When I refer to comps in my videos, this is what I'm referring to. They are the completed listings on eBay of items that have sold in the past. This is definitely the way that I find out what most items are worth, is by checking the sold comps on eBay. Now, I do also check comps on places like Amazon and stuff, especially for new goods. Speaking of Amazon, that's going to bring us into the second app that I want to talk about. It is the Amazon Seller app. This is the app that I used in my most recent video where I was scanning the barcodes of items in the thrift store and showing you guys what they were going for on Amazon. Now, to get this app on your phone, I do believe you have to have an Amazon Seller account already set up so you can sign into the app. However, once you sign in, it is super easy to get started and scanning stuff. All you need to do is open the app up, tap the camera in the top right hand corner to bring up the camera view, and then hover your camera over a barcode. Once the barcode scans, you'll be able to see specific things about that item, like the item's value, the item's sales rank, and the category that the item is listed in. If you go in one screen further, you'll be able to see even more things like the amount of reviews there is, the specific item details, and your selling eligibility. From there, you can tap on the price and see exactly the amount of fees and stuff you'll pay Amazon to have it listed on their platform. Now, there's two different ways that you can sell stuff on Amazon. One is merchant fulfilled, meaning that you are going to do the shipping, and the other one is Amazon FBA, fulfilled by Amazon, which is where you send your items into an Amazon warehouse and they handle the shipping and stuff for you. You can do plenty of other stuff with the app. You can manage your returns, you can see your inventory, you can see how much you've sold for the day, but the main reason I use it is to scan the items, get an idea of what the price is, and see how much that I'll make off of items that I'm finding in the wild. The next app I want to talk about is Poshmark. Poshmark is an app specifically for selling clothing to an online marketplace, but it's a little different than other selling platforms. It's like a social media platform and a selling platform combined into one. So you still have a store, you upload your pictures, you upload your items details and descriptions, and the public's able to see the items that you put up for sale. But here's where the social media comes in. Poshmark has followers and the ability to share your closet, As you build up more and more followers, you're going to have a wider audience that's going to see your stuff at a more consistent rate. And sharing your closet basically allows you to refresh your listing and get it to the top of people's feeds so that item is fresh in their minds and they're always seeing it. Some people really love this form of store because it makes them be more hands-on with their store and allows them to be more directly involved in the selling process. If they're able to share their whole closets 2 and 3 times a day, they're going to have a distinctive edge over someone who shares it once a day or who doesn't share it at all. Which is why some other people hate the app, because it is more hands-on and some of your sales can be less driven if you don't have a lot of time to share your closet. Now, I personally fall in the middle. I share my closet once, maybe twice a day, and sometimes I just don't share it at all. Another thing to note about Poshmark is they have a flat shipping cost and they have a deal with the post office, so all of their packages going out are a flat rate. And this can be really nice for buyers because if they're buying a pair of shoes that are really heavy, they're going to get a better rate. Instead of paying $10 and $12 to ship it to them, they're going to pay a flat rate of $6.50 to get it shipped to them, which could also be a drawback for a lot of other buyers, because if they're ordering a 6-ounce shirt that would otherwise cost them $3 to ship out and they're paying a flat fee of $6.50, you can see kind of how that's a give and take kind of thing. So overall, Poshmark is one of those apps that some people hate, some people like. I use it as a secondary app and I cross-list most of my clothing onto Poshmark. I see it as another chance to get my stuff out there and get it seen by a different group of people. Next, we have an app called Macari. Again, Macari is another app you can sell your stuff on. I typically list smaller hard goods on Macari. It has a kind of a niche audience. I don't do a lot of my clothing sales on there, but it is definitely a place where you can sell clothing. I just personally don't use it that way. I kind of see it the same way I see Poshmark, as another way to get my items seen. I use it mainly as a way to cross-list my smaller goods from eBay over. It's definitely on the lower end of my sales when it comes to my online selling. However, it is an app that I use relatively frequently. Next, I'm going to talk about Etsy. I personally use Etsy for 2 different things. I have 2 different Etsy stores. One is where I create custom orders and custom listings with my graphic design background. I basically create designs, upload them to a database, and then people are able to order shirts, mugs, t-shirts, posters, pretty much anything you can print on from my store. And then I have a third-party manufacturer print the item and send it out to the customer, so I use it as a form of passive income. And the second way I use Etsy is to cross-list vintage goods from my eBay store over to another marketplace. Etsy has a relatively large vintage base, and a lot of vintage stuff does sell through Etsy. So just like Poshmark and Macari, I use it as a way to cross-list items and get those items in front of a broader audience based on the users of that platform. Some other apps to look at that have potential of being good marketplaces to look at are things like Depop, Grailed, Goat, and many others. But the last 2 apps I'm going to kind of throw together, they are LetGo and OfferUp. These are basically online marketplaces where you can go ahead and list your goods. But the big difference between these apps and the other ones I've talked about is the way you sell items. Typically, people who sell on these platforms use them as a local sale platform, and you go and meet the buyer in person to give them the goods. Now, they do have online opportunities where you can ship the stuff to the buyer, but from my experience, most people use them as a way to make local sales. Speaking of local sales, the last marketplace I'm going to talk about is Facebook Marketplace. Facebook obviously is a huge platform, and they have a thing called Facebook Marketplace. On Marketplace, you can post your items, you can go see other people's items that they have for sale, and it's a great way to make local deals. I use Facebook Marketplace for larger items, stuff like bicycles or appliances, as well as other stuff that I think will flip fast in my local marketplace. It's a great tool, and while you can set up shipping times and stuff with your buyers, I personally use it for local deals, which is nice because you have cash in hand when you hand the item over, and you don't really have to worry about returns. Now, since we're on Facebook, that's going to lead me into the next set of apps that I kind of want to touch on, which is social media apps for resellers. Facebook is a great app to have on your phone as a reseller, just because there's so much that it can do to benefit you in your reselling business. Aside from having Facebook Marketplace to sell your goods on, you can also connect with other resellers on there, and you can join reseller groups. Reseller groups are a fantastic way to get your questions answered in a timely manner by people who have a similar interest as you, For example, if I had a question about a bicycle, I could post in one of these reseller groups, and maybe another reseller who knows more about bikes than I do would be able to give me the answers I'm looking for. But it's also a great way to connect with other resellers to help you source items. A lot of times in these groups, they'll post a ton of bolos, they'll post coupons, they'll post sales going on in stores, and as a reseller, those things are very, very valuable. I think one of the biggest things that people overlook is networking. Networking is just so powerful, and through the use of Facebook reseller groups and through other social media that I'm going to go over in a second, you literally have so much information at your fingertips, from things to buy, things to look out for, places to source, what to sell things for, prices for items. Social media is super valuable in the reselling world. The next social media platform I'm going to talk about is Instagram. Instagram's a great platform. You can find people in all kinds of niches all over the place. I shouldn't need to tell you this, it's a huge platform. But there is a ton of activity from resellers on Instagram. And I've learned so much on Instagram since coming to the reseller community. I've found items to look for, I've found brands to look for, I've found places to source, I've found people to talk to, I've made connections with wholesalers. Instagram is a very, very powerful platform. It gives you the ability to see what other resellers are doing. It gives you a very good insight into other people's businesses and see how they are running their stuff, to hopefully implement some of their tactics into your own reselling environment and then increase your sales further. Every time I get on Instagram, I scroll through my feed, and a lot of times I see stuff that is brand new to me. People are posting their sales, people are posting their bolos, and it's just an amazing tool as far as educating yourself goes. In that same mindset, I'm talking about one more social media platform, and that is one that I know you guys are all using right now because we are on it. It's YouTube. Again, just like Instagram, there are a lot of different resellers on YouTube showing you guys items to look for, showing you guys how to sell items, and showing you guys how to improve your business. These people are putting out information to you for free. Yes, free, and that is such a powerful thing. There's so much information out there in the YouTube world that it is mind-blowing. When I first started reselling, I didn't know about the Instagram and the YouTube communities. I was kind of doing my own thing, but once I found it, my whole world opened up. I've learned a ton from different YouTubers. There are some very good resources out there, and if you're not checking out other resellers' channels, I would definitely recommend searching through YouTube and looking at as many different kinds of videos as you can. There are YouTubers that talk about used items like I do here. There's some that talk about Amazon FBA. There's flea marketers. There's pallet buyers. There's scrapyarders. There's all kinds of different resellers out there, and YouTube shows you exactly what they're doing. It's just a huge help to have all this information out there in one consolidated place, and I think it's a really overlooked thing. For some reason, people seem to be skeptical about free advice given on YouTube. I don't know why. People are putting these videos out to help people, and it doesn't hurt to hear out what they have to say. They're just giving you information, and whether you use that information or not is up to you. Moving on to our third category of apps, I'm just going to go over these ones real quick. They're pretty straightforward. These are finance apps. Aside from your personal finance ones that are invaluable to resellers are Venmo and PayPal. PayPal is pretty common. You guys should know about it if you're in the online scene at all. It's used by pretty much every single online consumer-based website out there. Basically, it's a secure way for buyers to check out, and it's a secure way for sellers to receive payment. The other app is Venmo. Essentially, I'm able to send large amounts of money over the phone as opposed to me having to carry around the cash. So if I'm doing a large local deal, I tend to use Venmo a lot just so I can send the cash over to them electronically. It alleviates the problem of me having to have a ton of cash on me, and the buyer or seller doesn't have to sit there and count all the cash while you're doing it. It just pops straight into their account. Pretty straightforward stuff. And the last group of apps I want to talk about are just a bunch of random ones that I use to help my business run more smoothly, and there's a few in here that you may not have heard of before. First up is the Yard Sale Treasure Map. Yard Sale Treasure Map is essentially a Craigslist extension. When people post yard sales, garage sales, and estate sales to the Craigslist ads, Yard Sale Treasure Map pulls that information and plots the point of the sale onto a map. This is really helpful because you can scout out where sales are on the map and you can kind of plot a route out to the way you want to go for the day. It also allows you to see where clusters of sales are, so it might be worth it for you to go across town to where there are 50 sales as opposed to staying around your house to where there's only 1 or 2. I use this app all the time during the summer. It's an invaluable app. I have the pro version, which is like $3 a year or something like that, and basically allows me to see the sales on every day of the week as opposed to just the weekend sales. If you're someone who does a lot of garage sales and yard sales and estate sales like I am, I definitely suggest that you have this app in your phone. So kind of going off of that, if you are driving a lot, going to places like thrift stores, garage sales, and yard sales, you're going to be racking up a lot of miles. Now, as a reseller, miles are something that you can write off at the end of the year. I used to do it old school and keep track of the miles that I drove in a little logbook I kept in my car and manually writing them down. However, this year I upgraded to an app in my phone that my friend Josh recommended me, and that app is Stride. Stride is essentially a mileage tracker. Before I leave to go to a thrift store or garage sale, I open up Stride, just let it run in the background while I drive, and it tracks my route and the exact amount of miles that I have driven. It's also really nice because you're able to see the amount of deductions that you're able to claim at the end of the year, and you're able to download a log of all your miles straight from your phone. It's a really handy app, especially if you're going to claim your miles for tax deductions at the end of the year. I definitely recommend you try this one out. The next app I'm going to talk about is Foreseat. Now, as a reseller, you collect a lot of receipts going from different thrift stores or retail stores doing retail arbitrage and stuff, and it can become a pain to log all of that into a spreadsheet or keep the receipts in a bin or something. So the easy way to alleviate this is with Foreseat. So that's all you do is open up the app, hit the add a picture button, it finds the receipt, and you take a picture of it. It then takes that receipt picture and uploads it straight to Google Drive, so you're able to access that list of receipts at any time. That's all I did was have a folder made up for all my receipts, and all of them get directly downloaded from my phone to Google Drive whenever I take a picture of a receipt. So now whenever I'm done thrifting and you guys see me show you guys the receipt on camera, I typically just take out my phone, snap a picture of the receipt, and then not have to worry about it anymore. It's a really nice app to have, especially if you're someone who likes to see the numbers a lot. It's an easy way to track your average cost of goods and just to see how you're doing in the sourcing department. The last app I'm going to talk about is an app that can help you out in your picture taking process when you're going to list items. This can be specifically helpful to someone who doesn't have a white background to take pictures on and they're taking pictures on like their carpet or their kitchen floor or something. This app allows you to remove that background and add in a white background for your items. It just makes the items look cleaner and your listings look better overall. The app is called PhotoFuse. It's a pretty straightforward process. Essentially, all you do is open the app, take a picture, use the highlighter tool to highlight your entire item, and then render the image out. Essentially, what it's going to do is crop out everything that was highlighted and then add white to wherever your fuzzy orange carpet was. Now, this isn't something that's necessary as a reseller. However, if you like to have a clean looking store, it is something that can help. I've been experimenting with it lately on some of my items, specifically on larger items that I can't fit on my photo table. Again, this isn't a necessary thing, it's just something that I do to help the aesthetics of my store. And there it is. Those are a few apps that I think will really help you in your reselling business. I know they help me in mine, so hopefully you're able to take something away from this. If it did help you out, please hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Like the video to get this video out to more people, and leave me a comment of which app you are going to add to your reselling arsenal. Otherwise, that's going to do it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of video. Keep on treasure hunting. Peace.